Hey, what is going on guys? XpertFusion here, and today we're going to be ranking the top 25 best Call of Duty multiplayer maps of all time. This is including maps from Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, which came out in 2007, all the way up to the most current Call of Duty, which came out in 2018, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. So when I am doing this ranking, just keep in mind this is my opinion, my top 25 favorite, which I also consider to be the top 25 best. This includes how well they play, how good they look, how fun they are, and how unique they are compared to other maps. Just know there's a ton of maps in the entirety of Call of Duty history, so of course there's a lot of maps I will have left out because there's a lot of them. So if you would disagree with me or you have other maps that you think should be on this list, let me know in the comment section below and we can have some cool discussions about it. One thing I do want to mention is that if a map is being remade or it has been remade already, I will not be including separate versions of the remakes. I'll just include one of the versions of that map. So whether it be, let's say Nuketown is on my list somewhere, right? I'm only going to include the original version of Nuketown. I'm not going to separately include all the different versions of Nuketown. I'm just going to kind of count them all as one, and that goes for any other remake, but I'm only going to be showing gameplay and mainly talking about the original version, unless one of the newer versions was a lot better than the older one, but that all depends. They're kind of more of a combined sort of a thing when I'm talking about remakes. So anyways, let's get into this list. Coming in at the 25th spot, I've got Shipment from Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, which was also brought back in a couple other Call of Duties, including World War II, Modern Warfare Remastered, I guess if you count that as another Call of Duty, as well as in Call of Duty Ghosts as Showtime. But it was very different in Call of Duty Ghosts, very different than Shipment. So honestly, I can kind of see them as two completely different maps, but the World War II version is almost exact. Shipment takes place within Pripyat, Ukraine, which is obviously where a lot of the maps and locations are for Call of Duty 4's multiplayer and campaign. Shipment is the smallest map in Call of Duty history, and that obviously gives it a lot of uniqueness to it. This is a map that if you just want to hop on and get like 100 kills, or you just want to level up as fast as humanly possible, Shipment's the map you want. This is the map you need for just ranking up really, really quickly, whether it be in Call of Duty 4 or World War II, or even Call of Duty Ghosts when it came to Showtime. This map is a ton of fun, and that's why it comes in the number 25 spot. Coming in at the number 24 spot, I've got Courtyard from Call of Duty World at War, which was remade in Black Ops 2 as the map Dig. Courtyard is very oddly shaped. It's kind of like a giant square, which a lot of maps are like giant squares, but the way it's shaped inward is just really odd. It's almost like an hourglass sort of a design, and you can go in between the hourglass, you can go around it, you can all sorts of things. I love this map. I've always been a big fan of this map, and when it came back in Black Ops 2, I was really excited to be able to relive some experiences on this map. It's just got so much to it. It takes place in Japan, so it's a Japanese map. There's a lot of good Japanese maps in World at War. This is one of them. This is the only World at War map I actually have on this list. Not that I didn't like World at War maps, but compared to these rest of these maps, I couldn't put any more of the World at War maps in there. But Courtyard is definitely my favorite out of all of them. If it's ever in the map rotation, I'm always really excited because I know I'm about to drop some dogs on the enemies a lot because I'm really good at this map. I don't know what it is, and if it shows up in Black Ops 2's rotation, I tend to always get a swarm. That's just how it is. But yeah, Courtyard comes in at number 24. Coming in at the number 23 spot, I've got the only Infinite Warfare map that will appear on this list, and that is Turista. Turista was a DLC 2 map in Infinite Warfare and is easily the best in terms of balance and gameplay, in looks, and just an overall uniqueness compared to any other map in Infinite Warfare. Infinite Warfare really wasn't the best game in terms of maps. A lot of them were just really generic locations. It was really boring. They were all kind of 3 lanes, so they weren't really fun. They weren't unique, and that's kind of where Infinite Warfare fell short as a game, was mainly the maps. But this map did not disappoint. It was such a loved map by the community that they actually made it a 24/7 playlist with Turista for a long period of time. It's just awesome. I mean, look at this right here. This is one side of the map. You can literally look off and see this giant fossil of this weird creature out in the distance, and it's just such an epic looking thing. Almost feels like you're in like Jurassic Park or something in this map, like a futuristic version of Jurassic Park, which is just really, really cool. I just love to go on this map and just look at things because it's just got such an awesome feel to it. And even in terms of playing, it plays very well. It's a very well balanced map. It's very symmetric, and it's a fun map. So Teresta comes in at 23. Coming at the number 22 spot, I've got Combine from Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 has a couple of good maps in there. You'll see a couple of them later on in the list, but I had to put Combine at 22. This map is really not that interesting in terms of looks. It's not the prettiest map in the world. It's got some cool things here and there. But I think it's just the way this map plays. It's very symmetric. It's a very good example of a 3-laned map. If you wanted to show somebody what a 3-lane map means, this is one of the best examples of a 3-laned map. It's very, very well symmetric. It's almost like both sides are just meant for each other. You have really good wall running spots, which fits really well with the boost jumping aspect of this game. If this was in a boots on the ground Call of Duty, though, I don't think this map would work nearly as well as it does with this. So I don't expect to see this map again in the future unless we get another boost jumping Call of Duty, which I don't think we will for a long time. But I just think it really fit well with the theme of this game, and it just was one of those maps that if you saw in the rotation, you always wanted to stay because you knew you can drop some good kill streaks on this map. So Combine comes in at 22. Coming into number 21 spots, I've got Flak Tower from Call of Duty World War II. Flak Tower, I remember when they first announced it before World War II came out, they were talking about this as being the nuke town of World War II, and I gotta say, they did not disappoint with that statement. It is definitely very, very similar to a Nuketown style map in kind of a World War II feeling experience. And I was a big fan of some of the maps in World War II. I know a lot of people weren't, but I think just because we've seen so many futuristic maps over the past couple of years before this, I just really appreciated the realistic nature of a lot of these maps. And Flak Tower was one of those. I mean, just looking off into the city, I'm not too sure which city it was in, but you look off in the distance and it's just mayhem. And it's one of those maps where they manage to make it very warlike, but still very beautiful. Because a lot of maps, when they try to make them very warlike, they end up being really dull and dark and gritty, and it doesn't look good. It just kind of gets boring. But this map is bright. It is vibrant. It is colorful. It is the perfect example of a war map done right. And I love it. Flak Tower plays very well. It's small and compact, so you get a lot of quick mayhem. Definitely got a lot of my higher streaks on this map, so Flak Tower's got to come in at the 21 spot. Coming in at the number 20 spots, I've got Hunted from Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Another Black Ops 3 map. Like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of most of the Black Ops 3 maps in particular, but Hunted was absolutely a gorgeous map. I mean, it gets a lot of brownie points for just being one of the prettiest looking maps in Call of Duty history by far. I mean, Black Ops 3's got insanely good graphics. I don't know if they're better than Black Ops 4. People argue that, but there's certain parts of the graphics I do like a lot better than Black Ops 4, and maps like this kind of proves it. I mean, it's gorgeous. It was in the beta just as well as Combine was, and it got me really excited for the future of the game because they obviously put their best maps into the beta. I mean, you had Stronghold as well, so you had basically 3 of the best maps, in my opinion, in this game, all in the beta. They really threw in their best work, and that kind of led for a disappointing experience because I expected the rest of the maps to be like that, and it wasn't the case at all. But Hunted is a perfect example of a map that also plays really well, and it's not only just beautiful. You got the whole waterfall, which is a really nice location, the whole water that you can go into, and you can swim and kill people underwater, which was a really cool feature Black Ops 3 added, being able to actually kill people while you're in water. Really awesome. I love this map. Hopefully you guys do too. That's why Hunted comes in at the number 20 spot. Coming in at the number 19 spots, I've got the only Black Ops 4 map on this list, and that is Contraband. Just giving a little quick honorable mention to a couple other Black Ops 4 maps. Casino is incredible in my opinion. It didn't make the list, but it is definitely a really good map. I want to make the honorable mention there because Black Ops 4's maps, although they're not all great. I think a lot of them just fall into that category that a lot of the other maps in the newer Call of Duties fall into, where they're just not unique enough. They feel way too similar to other maps. They don't really play all that well. They don't look all that different. Some of them look really nice in terms of graphics, don't get me wrong, but Contraband is a classic example. It's very similar to Hunted in looks and how it plays even, which is kind of odd, which that's why they're kind of close to each other, because they both play very similar. They both look similar. So it's just in a different game with different, gameplay aspects, gameplay mechanics. I think Contraband, which they added a brand new version of it recently, which was, of course, the Rainfall version of Contraband, which I really do enjoy. It does take away that beautiful kind of feel that this map has, though, but the rain can have a cool feel to it as well. I'm not saying, rain isn't cool or anything, but you can kind of enjoy both maps in the same sense. Obviously, the gameplay is the same. It's just a look that's a little different. I do like the new weather maps they're introducing in Black Ops 4. Hopefully, they have better maps in the future that just do cool things and unique things that make me want to play them, because the recent Call of Duties just haven't really done that, which kind of is upsetting. But Contraband, definitely, in my opinion, the best map in Black Ops 4, so it comes in at the number 19 spot. Coming at the number 18 spot, I've got Favela from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Favela was also remade into Call of Duty Ghosts. The same exact map, though. It just had sort of a soccer World Cup-esque vibe to it. That's all I really did to change it, but it was still the same map. It even looked the same in Call of Duty Ghosts. It was even called the same, which a lot of the remakes, they called them different things. Favela, they just left it at Favela. But this is a classic, man. This is one of those maps that I always love playing. It's definitely a really good nuke map if you're playing Modern Warfare 2. And you're playing Ghosts, it's also pretty good for getting chem strikes. I don't know, there's something about it. It's just very close quarters, and then you also have these good sniping points on the ends of the map, which a lot of Modern Warfare 2 maps like to do that. They like to have it all compacted in the middle, but on the sides it's more, good for snipers, LMGs, long ARs, long range ARs. And it just really was good for all play styles, and I think that's one of the reasons why I liked it so much. And I'm sure a lot of you did too. I mean, you can get up on a lot of the buildings, you can go to the apartments, you can hop the buildings basically, which just added for an extra layer of fun, in my opinion. Then you have, of course, the infamous toilet with shit in it. But yeah, it's Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2's got a lot of good maps, and you're going to see a couple more on the list, but Favela comes in here at the number 18 spot. Now, this one might surprise you guys. Coming in number 17, I've got Gold Rush from Call of Duty Ghosts. Yes, that's right. You might not even know what map this is. This was in DLC 4 of Call of Duty Ghosts. The reason why a lot of people probably don't even know what this map is because they probably quit Call of Duty Ghosts before it even got to DLC 4. A lot of people did. People didn't give Ghosts a chance, but trust me, the DLC maps were not to be slept on. They were incredible. And the main reason why Ghosts maps were so incredible, DLC maps in particular, is because they were all unique. They all had unique features to them. They all had cool quips and sort of things that made the maps just play different and feel different and act different than any other map in the game, rather than just being a little different in terms of the layout and the looks. Ghosts try to do something really cool, and I really wish more Call of Duties would do this. They had map changing elements. They had, cool things you can play with on the map, the cool things you can use to your advantage. They had the map-based streaks from the field orders. That all changed maps and made them different, and that's one of the reasons I appreciate Ghosts so much as a game. Yes, the maps on disc didn't really do much with it, but the maps on DLC did a lot with it. Gold Rush, for example, has this little moving platform in the middle of the map which goes up and down. That changes how you play the map completely. It really does. And then you have my favorite feature, personally, that is on this map, and that is the minecarts. The minecarts are some of the most fun things I've ever used in a Call of Duty map ever. You just hop in these bad boys and it just takes you around the whole map. You can go shoot people while you're on it. If it runs over somebody while you're in it, it'll kill them. It's awesome. And then the map-based streaks, you can get the dogs, the wolf thingies, the wolf pack, I think it's called. That's awesome. This map is just a ton of fun, and it's always been one of my favorites, and it really sucks that when I go on Call of Duty Ghosts, I can never get a goddamn lobby on this map. It's always, a on-disc map. But if Modern Warfare 4 really wants to bring back a map, which I know they won't bring back this one. They're going to bring back, classic Modern Warfare maps. But if I really wanted them to bring back a map, honestly, Gold Rush is one of those goddamn maps. I love this map. So it comes in at the number 17 spot. Coming in at the number 16 spot, I've got Strike Zone from Call of Duty Ghosts. This is my favorite on-disc map in Call of Duty Ghosts. A lot of the maps on disc were not very good. Like I said, a lot of the DLC maps are where I started really enjoying this game. But out of all the on-disc maps, Strike Zone was the only one where I really enjoyed. They had a lot of 24/7 playlists for it, which just proves the community absolutely loved this map. For getting Chem Strikes, it was incredible. And it was even kind of remade into Infinite Warfare as the map Genesis, which is kind of awesome. It is kind of a very similar version of in layout to the map Dome from Modern Warfare 3, but they're not 100% the same. Strike Zone is more similar to Genesis from Infinite Warfare, but you do, of course, still have Dome and the remake of that in Ghost. They love this layout of Dome. That layout was used many times in the future of Call of Duty, which I have no problem with because I absolutely love the layout of Dome. But Strike Zone has one of the coolest elements of any map ever, and it's the fact that when you call in a Chem Strike, whether you get it from the supply drop or you earn one yourself, it blows up the entire map and it changes 100% how you play. It's like a completely new map, basically. It's all rubble, it's all destroyed, everything. You get to see the landmarks that were there before, they're now destroyed. Such a cool feature to a map. I wish they would do more of this kind of stuff with more maps. Do I want it like that in every map? No, not necessarily. But every now and then, just give us maps like this. It's awesome. When you call in a Chem Strike, it's so much more rewarding for the entirety of the map to just destroy itself. That is so cool. So Strike Zone's got to come in number 16 spot for being easily one of the most unique maps in Call of Duty history. Coming in at the number 15 spot, I've got Ardennes Forest from Call of Duty World War II. So, like I said before, World War II didn't have that many good maps, not like an insane amount, but this map is just really well balanced and plays really well. It was one of the beta maps, which it's kind of a trend for a lot of the recent Call of Duties that have had betas. They tend to put their best maps within the beta, which I don't blame them for doing that, but it's like they almost know which map is going to be fan favorites. And this was definitely one of the most fan favorite maps in this game. Not a lot of them were that fan favorited, let's be real here, but this one in particular, I heard a lot of good things about from the community, and personally, I agree. It plays very well. And not only does it play very well, it's a beautiful map. I mean, snow maps people always complain about, but that's usually because coincidentally, snow maps just tend to not be that good in terms of how they play. But this map just played really goddamn well, and on top of that, it was a snow map, so it really added that uniqueness to it that it's a snow map. And there's not a lot of great snow maps. There is a few, though, trust me. There's one that's really high up on the list, and you'll see it, but I love the feel of this map. That's about all I can say about it. So Ardennes Forest comes in at the number 15 spot. Coming at the number 14 spot, I've got Rust from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. This map is a classic. I mean, come on. When you ever want to 1v1 somebody, where do you 1v1 them? You 1v1 them on Rust or Nuketown. You'll see Nuketown later on the list, don't worry. But Rust is the classic. If you want to just go on a classic map, this is one of them. Now, in terms of gameplay, you don't really play it that often because it's not really, a big map. So a lot of different game modes just don't support Rust. But I love hopping on this map. Every time I get play a Modern Warfare 2, I always want to see Rust because I know if Rust is one of the maps, it's going to be a fun game. Probably not going to get a nuke because it's not very easy to stay alive on this map, but that doesn't really matter. I just have a great time, and it's a good way to level up if you're trying to level up. You got really high points you can hop up on. They did remake it in Infinite Warfare, but the remade version was very different. They really changed it a lot. So I don't really like it as much as I do Rust, but Rust is just... Yeah, and it's the location, or at least near the location, of the final mission in the campaign. So it's a very iconic location for that reason. That's why Rust comes in number 14. Coming into number 13 spot, I've got Slums from Call of Duty Black Ops 1. That was remade into Black Ops 3 as well as Black Ops 4 in the Back in Black maps, which I love this map. Absolutely love it. And I actually like it in Black Ops 4 a lot. It's one of my favorite maps in Black Ops 4. If it's up in the rotation, I want that goddamn map because I know it's going to be a good damn time. Wait, did I say Black Ops 1? I think I said Black Ops 1. It was a Black Ops 2 map, not a Black Ops 1 map, and then it was remade into Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. That's what I meant. Fantastic map, though. from the entirety of it. It doesn't look that amazing, honestly. The map kind of looks gross. It's just the way it plays. It's a very well made map. Very well made. Like, I don't know what it is. It's one of those like square circle maps, kind of similar to like Courtyard in a way, how it's like a square and it's almost like an hourglass around the edges. Kind of not the same, but you can kind of make some similarities to the two maps. I love how it plays. I love how you can, flank through the little sort of doorways through the little building to the left side of the map, and then the other side of the map you also have another little building closer to the one spawn. Very good for spawn trapping. Very good for just going on high streaks. I love slums. I'm sure a lot of other people do too. It's always been a fan favorite for most people. So it comes in at number 13. Coming in at the number 12 spot, I have Terminal from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which was also remade in Modern Warfare 3, as well as Infinite Warfare. I absolutely love Terminal. I think a lot of people would agree with me. This is usually like a top 5 map of all time for the majority of people. I don't think it's top 10 worthy. I think it's 12 is a perfect spot for it. It's just got some iconic locations like Burger Town, the plane, the back of it. It's just a very iconic map when you think of Call of Duty. This map definitely comes to mind. And I think it's mainly because of the really iconic campaign mission, which was of course No Russian, that was taking place in the same location. And it's just a cool place. Like, I think that's important for maps, is that location is very important. If it's at a place that's unique and different than what we've seen before, like an airport, like that's something we've never really seen before, and we still haven't really seen that in many other maps. So when we get something like that, it's pretty awesome. And that's just kind of how it was in Terminal. It was a cool location that made it for a fun map, and it did play well. It's not like it didn't play well. It played very well. It was a little annoying with streaks sometimes, trying to call in streaks in this map. There's a lot of indoor areas. It's not very outdoorsy. But even in the indoor areas, you can use the glass to your advantage, the glass roofs, and you can shoot the score streaks down through the glass roof and kill people like that, which is an okay way of getting things done. I'm a big fan of Terminal. I know a lot of people are as well, so it comes in at number 12. Coming in at the number 11 spot, got Grind from Black Ops 2, which was a DLC map. Now, Grind is a map I'm really surprised hasn't returned yet. I would love to see this return in Black Ops 4 as a remake, because Grind is not only one of the most prettiest and very nice maps to look at, but it also plays outstanding. I mean, most Black Ops 2 maps plays pretty damn well. I mean, that's why you've seen a lot of Black Ops 2 maps on this list. That game just had some of the best maps out there. They just played so well. And on top of that, like I said, they looked very well. They looked beautiful. They had outstanding scenery. I mean, the coolest thing about this map is how you can go and climb around all the different parts of the skate park. You can climb around the interior, which has all sorts of skate areas. It's a skate park. It's awesome. And we need more unique locations like this in future Call of Duty maps. We absolutely need that. And I'm really hoping that's what they decide to do for the future of Call of Duty. More stuff like this, more stuff where it's just unique places, unlike a bunch of army facilities or training places. It's just, a lot of the locations they do in recent Call of Duties, it's just kind of boring. I want stuff like this. They have done some pretty cool things. I'm not saying the recent CODs have had completely, boring maps. They've been some pretty cool ones, but for the most part, I feel like a lot of them just aren't that interesting or fun. The casino's cool though. Casino's not on this list. It was actually, I was thinking about putting it on the list somewhere, but Casino is a very cool location for a map, and that's why I like it a lot, but it doesn't play that well, so I didn't think it was deserving of a top 25 spot because of that reason, but still a cool map. Grind, though, comes in at number 11. We have now finally made it into the top 10, and coming in the number 10 spot, I've got High Rise from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which was remade into Skyrise in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, which was the Skyrise better than High Rise? No. It was still really cool to see it remade, though. I was really happy to see it back in that game, even if I wasn't the biggest fan of Advanced Warfare. But Modern Warfare 2, man, this map is fantastic. If I'm on Modern Warfare 2, just like Terminal, just like Rust, I want this damn map in the rotation all the time. And when it's there, I click that hell out of that thing. And, if I don't vote to skip it, is what I'm trying to say. But the amount of cool little locations you can go onto in this map, like the roof, like the the giant crane, all these different places you can go. Just make this map so different and unique from other maps. Playing stuff like hide and go seek on this map as a kid, some of the best memories I ever had. But this is not nostalgia, of a list. I'm not basing nostalgia for any sort of a factor. That was just mentioning the fact that I did have some pretty good memories on this map. But in terms of just gameplay, it plays very well. It's a perfect example of a 3-lane map done right. I like how there's a lower level so you can flank, and I like how the two buildings are very high up so you can get up high and you can, snipe if you want to, but if you want to, use an SMG or a shotgun, you can do that as well. It's very well ranged for all sorts of playstyles. That's why I absolutely love High Rise. So it comes in at the number 10 spot. Coming in at the number 9 spot, I've got Fog from Call of Duty Ghosts. Yes, who would have thought that a Call of Duty Ghost map would be in the top 10 best maps of all time? Fog is the DLC 1 map in in Ghosts. And I freaking loved it. I loved every little second of this map. This map was kind of paying homage to some of the best horror movies of all time, some of the best horror shows, some of the best just horror, lore and stories out there, all put into one map. If you can find the most amount of Easter eggs on any map out there, it's Fog. Fog has a shitload of Easter eggs paying homage to horror. That's one of the reasons I loved it so much. And on top of it, it looks beautiful. You got such a cool feel to it. And on top of that, it plays very well. Small, close quarters, bigger where it has to be, so it is decent for sniping in some places. But in other places, it's just good for running and gunning. Plays very well. But all that just sounds fine, on its own, right? But no, what makes this map a top-tier map isn't even those things alone. It's the map-based score streak that you earn through a supply drop or a care package, which is, of course, the man himself, Michael Myers. You gotta call him in and run around with the theme song and all, slicing and dicing. It is the coolest thing, in my opinion, that Call of Duty multiplayer has ever done. The coolest thing. I don't think they've ever topped this. I really don't. I think it is the coolest sort of feature to any map, to any mode of any Call of Duty thing that they've ever done. And it really is. And I really want them to do stuff like this again. I really do. They did other cool stuff like this with the Predator in DLC 2, which that map's not on the list. I love that map, but it's just, I don't think it's in a top 25 in my opinion. But this map, it's just so good. If you haven't played Call of Duty Ghosts, try out this map in a private match or something and try to get that dude. When you go running around with him in a public match, when you do that and you get like 10, 15 kills with Michael Myers, it is the best feeling I've ever had in a Call of Duty multiplayer game. It's incredible. I love it. So that's why it comes in at the number 9 spot. Coming in number 8, I've got Firing Range from Black Ops 1. So Firing Range was remade in every single Black Ops game, actually. It was in Black Ops 2 as Studio. It was in Black Ops 3 as a Back in Black map. And then it was also in Black Ops 4 as one of the classic remakes. So yeah, it was in every Black Ops game. So honestly, I think Firing Range is almost just like Nuketown in terms of it's been in every single Black Ops game. Wow, I never really thought of that until just a second. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. But this map has been everywhere. And so has another map, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, which I'm going to mention that map in just a little bit. It did come in very late into the life cycle in Black Ops 3. But I think the reason why it's such a popular map in this game, or in the Black Ops franchise in itself, is because it just plays so well. There's something about it. The looks of it isn't that cool. I don't really give too many shits about the look, I'm going to be honest. It's just how it plays. It's very, very, very well balanced when it comes to basically all game modes. Like, I never found a game mode where Firing Range doesn't play well. It just always does. Search and Destroy is fun on this map. Domination is really, really well balanced. It makes for some really competitive play. And I think that's why people like it so much. And that's probably why I like it so much. It's pretty iconic, too, when it comes to the Black Ops franchise. Let's be real here. So, yeah, that's why it comes in at the number 8 spot. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think this is going to be the most surprising map on this entire list. Coming in at number 7, I've got Climate from Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Now, Advanced Warfare, this is the only map that I'm putting on this list because Advanced Warfare's maps weren't that great. You had a few good ones. I think Solar was pretty freaking good. Urban, which was a DLC map, was pretty freaking good. Swarm, which was another DLC map, I enjoyed a lot. Hell, even Biolab was pretty good. But they're never good enough to be in the top 25, in my opinion, which is kind of sad to see. But Climate is one of the gems that sticks out to me from DLC 2. I've never seen someone else say this. I've never seen someone, enjoy this map as much as I have. I've never seen somebody say it's in their top 10 or in their top 20 or in their top 50. I've never seen anyone say anything good about Climate. I think this is the most underrated map in Call of Duty history. Alongside Gold Rush and a couple other Ghost maps. Like Ghost and AW, they had a few gems here and there. And Climate's one of them. Climate is one of those gems for a number of reasons. So it's got a very interesting design, more kind of like a circle design, and you can enter the middle through a variety of ways. So it plays well. I think with the advanced movement, it plays very well. But that's not why I love this map. Why I love this map is because halfway through the match, or sometimes it's earlier, it really just depends what game mode you're playing, the water, which there's a lot of different water spots on this map, which is also pretty cool, how you can go swimming in the water and such, the water will turn into poison. And like poison that if you touch, you die. And what this makes the map turn into, it makes it turn into almost like a don't touch the lava mode, which is something that I've always wanted in Call of Duty, something like that, where there's lava or some kind of liquid where you can't go in and you have to jump from one thing to one thing. What better game to do it in than a game with boost jumping? So to me, it worked perfectly. And I had a ton of fun on this map because when that stuff came in halfway through the match, you knew that you're going to have to play this map a little bit differently. You can't just go running through the water and running through the middle. You can't be, using the water lanes as like secret flanking routes anymore. You can't do that. Now you have to go jump into the fight and avoid death because that's how the map plays. I like that. And it makes for some really, really fun engagements, which makes Climate in a top 10, in my top 10 list. It comes in at number 7. It's surprising to myself. I didn't think I would like this map that much, but after going back to it a few times, after remembering I did enjoy it back when it came out first, after revisiting it, I can assure you, yes, this map deserves the number 7 spot. Coming in at the number 6 spot, I've got Dome from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. So Dome is fantastic. Now, there was another Dome in World at War, which I think is a good map as well. It didn't deserve 25, the top 25 though, but Dome from Modern Warfare 3, in my opinion, is the much better Dome. It was remade in a few different ways. So first of all, it was completely remade in Call of Duty Ghosts as the map Unearthed, but it was kind of redesigned and made into a different version of a map as Strike Zone in Call of Duty Ghosts, and then Call of Duty Ghosts remade Strike Zone in Infinite Warfare. So Dome has had its few different versions here and there. Some that were exact remakes, some that were using the same layout, but still different in many different ways. But the OG Dome is fantastic. Now, the Ghost map I love a lot because you can call in aliens, which is really cool, and you can get the Wonder Weapon from Extinction. But the original Dome, obviously, is what I wanted to put. Modern Warfare 3, not my favorite when it comes to maps. That's why there's not many Modern Warfare 3 maps on this list at all. But Dome it plays so well. It's that small map that fans love. They love that fast-paced gameplay. That's what Call of Duty is known for. So when you get a lot of those maps, usually those are the better maps in the game, just for that fast-paced action. And that's what Dome delivers on. Very well, mind you. And it's pretty cool looking at all the, the sand coming in from the outsides of the map and kind of pushing it, almost like it's a sandstorm going on. Now we are officially in the top 5. Coming in number 5 spot, I've got Hijacked from Black Ops 2, which was remade into Black Ops 3 as Skyjacked, and then was also brought into Black Ops 4 Blackout as a location, which I am really a fan of that drop spot in Blackout, I have to say. But Hijacked, first of all, Another really cool location, it's on a freaking yacht. That's an awesome location for a map. Skyjacked, I don't think it's nearly as cool as this one is, to be honest, in terms of the location, because it's not really a nice cruise ship anymore. It's kind of just like a random airplane facility, not airplane, random jet, army jet. I don't know. It's not as cool as the yacht is in Black Ops 2. And I was a fan of them returning it in Black Ops 4 because in Black Ops 4 you can go to whole new areas in it since it's in Blackout. You'll notice something's familiar with the next few maps. There's a lot of them have been returned in Blackout in some way, shape, or form. So you know they're good maps if they bring them to Blackout because that probably means a lot of people like them. And this map just does no different, man. I really do enjoy playing time on Hijacked. You have the underground area, which is awesome. It kind of reminds me of High Rise to an extent, but it's got, an area in the back, so I guess it can also be reminiscent of Nuketown in some respects. It's one of those type of maps, and I'm really just a fan of the Nuketown style maps, like Flak Tower, like this one, like High Rise, which kind of has a Nuketown feel to it to an extent. Urban from Advanced Warfare. I really like Nuketown style maps. I think Nuketown really sets the stage for what good maps should be like. Now, not all maps have to be like that, mind you, but a lot of the good ones have that, where they have two buildings or houses or something, and then you go fight in the middle, and it's all big frenzy. You can go around the sides of the houses or the buildings, whatever they are. It's a cool way to do maps. Black Ops 1 Hotel did that, which it wasn't on the list, unfortunately, but I still love Hotel a lot. So Hijack comes in at number 5. Coming to the number 4 spot, I got Summit from Black Ops 1, which was remade into Uplink in Black Ops 2, and then brought into the Back in Black maps in Black Ops 3 as well as Black Ops 4. So Summit's been just like Firing Range and Nuketown in all Black Ops titles, which just proves how fantastic of a map Summit really truly is. It's definitely my favorite snowy map of all time, 100%. But is it the best map? No, it's number 4. But I don't know. It's a boring location. I'm going to be honest, Summit is a boring location. It's just a worn down outpost in the middle of a snowy mountain. It's not that cool of a location. The Black Ops campaign, the mission that you were here, though, was pretty cool with the whole avalanche. That was a cool mission, so I guess the lore behind it is kind of interesting, but the location isn't that fantastic. I'm not really a big fan of the location. It's just the way this map plays is fantastic. It plays so well. It's an interesting design into how it's kind of like on a mountain, so one side of the map's a little bit higher than the other side, and you can kind of go down it, but then there's this big building which is kind of completely level with the whole map. I don't know. I like the design. I think it's a really solid 3-lane design, which a lot of people complain that too many maps are 3-lane these days, which I agree, they shouldn't all be 3-laned. But it's just the truth that the majority of the best maps are 3-lane. That's just the ones that play the best. It's the ones that play the best for competitive. And this map's one of those maps. So Summit's got to come in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, I've got Standoff. If you want to talk about competitive maps that are really, really good and play really, really well, especially in ranked play, Standoff is one of those maps. Now, Standoff was brought into Black Ops 3 as the map Outlaw, which is definitely one of my favorite maps in Black Ops 3 now, and was also brought into Black Ops 4 Blackout as a part of the Ghost Town location, which is also combined with the map Buried, the Zombies map, of course. Plays really well. It's a really fun drop location in Blackout, and I gotta say, in Black Ops 2, this map was easily one of my favorite maps when it came to getting streaks, getting swarms, going on tears, just destroying people. If I want to play a competitive match in any way, shape, or form, I hopped on this map usually, or Nuketown, or another one that I will go over in a little bit. It was just that map, It was just the map that, it wasn't really 3-laned per se. It was a unique type of 3-laned map. It was, I like to call it the Z design, because it's kind of like a Z sort of design, not like a perfect Z. I'm talking about like an L with another little side going the other way, like a half swastika design is, I guess, a better way to put it. You don't finish the swastika, you just do part of it. That's kind of what this design is like. It's sort of 3-laned in that nature, almost like a diagonal sort of a way, but not the exact 3-lane that we're used to, which I think it worked really well for this map. Haven't really seen it in many other maps, to be honest, but it worked really well, and I think it's one of the reasons why I like this map, because it's unique map design that worked, which was fantastic. So yeah, it comes in number 3. Coming in at the number 2 spot, I've got Raid, which was remade into Black Ops 3 as the map Empire, and then also brought into Black Ops 4 Blackout as a part of the Estates location. Dude, Raid was definitely one of my favorite maps for a long time. I had to give the edge to this next place, which you'll see in a few minutes, but it was really hard picking between the two, I'm going to be completely honest, because Raid is fan-freaking-tastic. A lot of these maps look well. This is a good example of a well-looking map. But Raid plays so freaking well. Plays fantastic. I cannot go on Raid and not get a swarm every time. And maybe that's just me being biased because I'm really good at this map and I really know it really well, so therefore I end up doing good on it. That could be me being biased, but I think it's really good for anyone getting swarms to that nature. I've seen most people get their swarms. I wish there were stats out there to see which map had the most swarms called in on. I think Raid would be up there at number 1 or 2, maybe 3 at least, but it's got to be in the top 3 most swarm map. I mean, this is just the map people love to call in swarms on because it's a really good map and really easy to understand the layout of it because it's a very easy layout, very simple. 3-lane design, which, like I said, 3-lane is usually the best design to go with. Do I want on every map? No, I want some variety in my maps. You can give me some non-3-lane maps that will probably end up being good. There's a few on this list that aren't 3-laned and are very, very good. But the majority of them, let's be real here, yes, they are 3-laned. And Treyarch did a pretty good job with most of their 3-lane maps. Recently, though, they decided to make their 3-lane maps not as interesting. They kind of just like repeats of old maps, but you get the idea. Raid is one of its kind. Honestly, I don't know if any map is going to beat it other than the one that is in the number 1 spot. And officially, coming in the number 1 spot, you probably could have guessed it, it is Nuketown from Black Ops 1, which remade into Nuketown 2025, and Black Ops 2 remade into Nuketown 3, I guess you can call it, in Black Ops 3, as well as Nuketown in Black Ops 4, as well as Nuketown Island in Black Ops 4 Blackout, as well as Nuketown Zombies in Black Ops 2, and probably in a very different more ways in the future. Honestly, I think personally that Black Ops or Nuketown should just be in every single Call of Duty game. I don't know what it is, man. I think Nuketown is the iconic, it is the definitive, it is the staple map in Call of Duty. If you want to look at a map that's like the most definitive in Call of Duty, it's Nuketown, dude. I can't, look, I understand it won't be in Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer games. I understand most people probably don't want it in those games. But I love this map so much that I would not mind if it was in every single game. I do. If there's a Nuketown only playlist, I go play that map. I go play that playlist. That's the only thing I do. That's why they don't keep that playlist, because they know most people are just going to be hopping on that playlist all day long instead of playing their other modes. Which I don't blame people for doing that, because Nuketown is fan-freaking-tastic. Amazing map. I've had so many memories on this map as well, playing House Wars and all these fun things. So Nuketown's got to come at number 1. But I wanted to end this video off with going through every single Call of Duty and listing how many of their maps ended up on this list, because it'll be interesting to look at which of the Call of Duties have the best maps in my honest opinion. Let's take a look. So when looking at how many maps for each Call of Duty were on this list, Call of Duty 4 had 1 map, which honestly, I really thought it would have more. I love Crash, I love Vacant, I love Strike, but unfortunately they just didn't make the cut. World at War has 1, which again, there's a lot of great World at War maps, but at the same time, not enough for the top 25. Modern Warfare 2 has 4 maps, which is not surprising at all. I think those 4 maps are some of the best maps in Call of Duty history. That's why they're in this list. Black Ops 1 has 3 maps. Isn't surprising at all. Those 3 maps were really high up on the list as well. Modern Warfare 3 has 1 map. Not really surprising to me. I think there's a couple of good maps in there, like Liberation. A couple of DLC maps I like a lot, but they didn't make the cut. Black Ops 2, 5 maps. Not surprising at all either. That just makes sense. Call of Duty Ghost, 3 maps. A lot of those are obviously DLC maps. Only one of them is an on-disc map. That map just had fantastic DLC. AW, 1 map. Not surprising. Black Ops 3, 2 maps. Both on-disc maps. Infinite Warfare, 1 map. World War II, 2 maps, which is not that bad actually. Ardennes Forest and Flag Tower. A couple of other ones I do enjoy, though. I'm not going to say there's no good maps on there. In Black Ops 4, I have one map, which honestly, Seaside and Casino to me are also probably top 50 maps, but this isn't top 50, this is top 25. So that's the list. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think is your top 25 in the comment section below, and also maybe give you my top 5. Give me your top 5 or top 10 worst or something like that if you want to, because I probably will be doing that next, is doing a top 10 or top 15 worst maps of all time. That'll be fun to do, and we can look at some of the worst in history, regardless, as to this list obviously being the best. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.